Here with Northwestern State head coach Chris Bertrand, the Demons wrapping up the regular season this weekend, or some of this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Coach, it's been a unique week for sure, finishing on a Monday with a series against New Orleans, kind of a short turnaround, and you're going to finish out of conference to end the season. How different is that from a coaching standpoint?
I think it's different on paper. I think, like you mentioned, from a coaching standpoint, maybe it's different in the way in which you kind of make some decisions and set some things up. But from a strictly baseball standpoint, games are games, right? And so for us, we had to navigate our way through the Southland Conference schedule, and I feel like we did a really good job of that. Now we've got to navigate our way through what this last week is going to be and use it in a way that helps us learn and prepare for what next week's tournament is going to be. And so there is some unique elements to it, but at the same time, it's not something that warrants being a distraction. It's something that makes you plan ahead. It's something that makes you look for efficiency. It's something that makes you look for the moments of opportunity, and that's exactly how we have treated it and how we are going to treat it. And we're not going to change in our belief or in our mindset that when the umpire says play ball, it doesn't matter who the opponent is or what's on the line. They're all important because they are all learning opportunities for ultimately what we have prepared for and worked so hard for, which is next week.
You get one last weekend at home, which is always important, especially for the guys who did go through senior day last weekend, which thought Mother Nature was going to threaten that one too. But, I mean, for them, it kind of gets some of the emotions maybe out of it, and it kind of becomes just baseball again this weekend.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. And for us, I think it in the unique setup that we're done with final exams, and so we don't have to navigate our way around the schoolwork part of it. They get to be baseball players. They get to experience what is the last couple of weeks of some of their careers. They get to do it in front of a crowd and a fan base that has been unbelievable to us all year long. We can't say enough in which the fans and how we feel at home at the Bistro, the way in which they've supported us through what was obviously some very, very tough times, and the way in which they continued to be there for us and have our backs, right? Like all of those elements lead towards, we see it as an opportunity to do something at home in front of our fans and prepare for what the ultimate goal is next week. And so, man, all of the elements we use as learning tools for how it is we're going to have the best mindset to approach the competition.
You'll do it against a very familiar face, even though they're no longer conference rivals, and Stephen F. Austin. And Coach Cardenas has been over here a lot in his career and brought his team over, kind of like the start for you guys, not the season they wanted, but you're going to have guys that are playing their last game. So it's kind of a wounded animal theory in a lot of ways.
We fully expect their best shot because that's the type of man that Johnny is. That's the type of coach that Johnny is. He runs a program in which we're expecting every bit of it, right? And he understands that there are things on the line for him as well, and he's going to have his team prepared, and he's going to have his team ready to give their best shot, and so we need to prepare accordingly, right? All of the other elements, even though maybe sometimes they warrant conversation, all of those other elements are kind of for the outside people looking in. On the inside of both of these programs, an umpire is going to say play ball, and we're going to go to war, man. And so we fully expect that from Johnny. Really looking forward to being able to spend some time with him, right? I think for a lot of those old school people, right, Northwestern and SFA and the Demons and the Lumberjacks, like that means something to a lot of people, right? Whether there's old conference or no conference on the line, none of that stuff, man. Like it means something to people to be able to compete against an old rival. It means something to me to be able to compete against a great man and a great friend. And from program to program, we're looking forward to 3 great baseball games and what each team can take from it to make themselves better for the future. The future for us happens to be that we have the benefit of getting to play some games in a tournament that are meaningful at the end of the year. The benefit for Johnny's team, I know he has a list of things that he's going to use to make his program better moving forward. And so, man, what a better way to end the season than to recognize those elements and go out and compete.
It's the Belanger Bowl Part 2 as well with Dylan Belanger. And I know he ended up at third base, and we'll be able to say congratulations for that reason here in a minute. But it's got to mean a little something for him coming directly from Stephen F. He had been at UNO, then Stephen F. here. So this weekend's even maybe a little bit more, I don't want to say important to Dylan, but there's a little even closer tied for him.
Great men are great men, and great baseball people are great baseball people, and coaches are great coaches, right? Like for what he gets to experience through UNO, for what he gets to experience through SFA, for the tremendous opportunity I got to experience with Louisiana College, when I get to experience it with LSUA and Cody Gotro, right? Like all of those things are an incredible sign of what the game of baseball does for our lives. And so again, worth mentioning, because how cool is that for Dylan in his career and in his life, and to be able to share those experiences. But I think it all goes back to, how is Dylan going to use it to teach our team something and improve our program, right? And how is Johnny going to do the same thing in the way that he can recognize that as a mentor, as someone who helped him grow in the game, as someone who gets to be proud of the career path. Very much the same way that I hope Blake was proud of what he got a chance to see out of Dylan last week, right? But we're teaching our guys about much more than baseball. We're teaching them in those experiences about life and about how to advance in your career, and about how to make a living doing something that you're passionate about, and how every step along the way and every person who has impacted your life, you want to impact them, and you want them to impact you, and you see how that makes you a better coach and a better man. And so we get to show those things to our team. I know, and I'm confident in saying, that Dylan would tell you the same exact things, right? Dylan doesn't want it to be said because it's Dylan. Dylan wants it to be said because he believes in the mission that we're trying to build together in Demon Baseball, and our teams are going to see it and use it for the future.
You mentioned program growth. Well, your program grew off the field by one, so I know you want to say congratulations to somebody.
There's no doubt, man. Congratulations to Billy and Maggie. What an incredible moment in their lives, right? And again, for me, having the chance to do that twice with mine, and how Lori and I feel about our responsibility and our opportunity to be parents. This is an incredible time in Billy and Maggie's life, and it means the world to all of us to be able to see him go through it, right? We've said all along, and we think that we've lived the mission since we got the job in June to where we are now, in the fact that it's not only important for us to be the best baseball coaches that we can, but it's important for those guys trying to see me try to be a good husband and try to be a good father, and teach lessons along the way that when the game is done with them, that they can take into their lives. And Billy now gets that same opportunity. He gets that same responsibility, right? And so we want to welcome them into our family. Everybody knows that we throw that word around because we are a family in Demon Baseball, but we welcome a new member to our family. But more importantly, it's a great opportunity for us to learn from this stage of Billy and Maggie's life. And I know I have some confidence in saying that he wants our guys to be able to see him do that. And so congratulations to them, but we just look at it as another amazing thing that happens for Demon Baseball.
Coach, as always, thanks for your time.